following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, songwriter, 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce Wrestlemania. And the first to launch her own podcast, which gives you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes and extraordinary entertainers. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Chasing Glory. Real, raw, inspiring. When is it not ever real, raw, inspiring? That's because my guests are so amazing. Thank you for following the show. Instagram, Chasing Glory Podcast. Also on Instagram, at Lilian Garcia. And Twitter and Facebook is Lilian Garcia Official Fan Page. By the way, thanks for all the love on Instagram lately, on both Chasing Glory Podcast and my personal Instagram at Lilian Garcia. Man, I'm pouring my heart out there. I am trying to get you guys, some content of photos and Chasing Glory stuff and contest. Speaking of the contest, I want to congratulate my winners. They were the winners of the giveaway for the 1-year anniversary that we were celebrating for Chasing Glory. Yes, now we're in our second year, which I'm so excited about. Forgive me if I say these names wrong, but I want to congratulate Nick McNamara. That does not sound right. McNamara. That sounds better. All right. Justin Griffin, Millie Carden, Oscar Silva, and Alexandra Nemetz. She was my grand prize winner. I gave away T-shirts, I gave away 8x10s, and then I gave away also an outfit that I wore in the ring, personally autographed. So definitely keep your eye out for more contests. I love doing that. It's my way of thanking you, because without you, I don't have a show. So make sure that you guys follow the show, rate the show, continue that 5-star rating. That is helping us so much. You guys are my CG squad. You know it. I need you. Spread the word. Tell people about it. There's a lot of people that don't know about the show. I get tweets all the time going, oh my God, where have I been? I just found the show. And I'm like, yeah. Where have you been? Now, listen to all the episodes and tell your best friend. So here we go, guys. I love sharing these stories. I want to thank Renee Young. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. Like, what the timing of having her on. It just seems like, I don't know, is Chasing Glory a good luck thing? I hope so, because I remember having Alicia Fox on the show and she was talking about how she didn't have merchandise, and then boom, she got merchandise. And then Renee talking about how she really wanted an opportunity back on commentary, and boom, just this week, guess what? Mae Young Classic, her and Beth Phoenix got announced. They're going to be announcing that. So excited. And check it out tonight, Monday Night Raw. Guess what? She is guest commentating on Monday Night Raw tonight. So congratulations to Renee. She needs to be on that commentating table, like full time. I think so. I definitely think so. First of all, a woman needs to be on there just to get a little, estrogen flair. It's okay with the guys, just mix it up. I love it. So congratulations. I know she's going to be amazing tonight, and she was an amazing guest. If you guys didn't listen to the episode yet, definitely listen to it. Incredible stories that she says she has never shared. She's never opened herself up as much as she did here on Chasing Glory, so I can't thank her enough for that. And we've got a great guest today. If you guys went on Chasing Glory podcast on Instagram, you saw who my guest today is. Before that, I do want to thank, though, real quick, my sponsor for the show, Butcher Box. If you guys haven't heard me talk about it, I'm telling you, and if you have heard me talk about it, what are you waiting for if you haven't ordered? This is amazing stuff. I do not endorse anything I don't believe. And as a matter of fact, I'm about to have that for dinner tonight. I've already taken it out of my freezer. I'm having the pork, letting it thaw out so I can eat it. Guys, this is no hormones, grass-fed. It's all good. It's like from farm to table. I'll tell you more about it later on in the show, all the details. But just remember, butcherbox.com/glory. butcherbox.com/glory. Okay, so about today. If you guys checked out Glory Friday, you know that Bobby Lashley is my guest today. Woo-hoo-hoo. so excited. So excited. So with Bobby, I have a little history. You know, we've been friends for a long time, the whole time that he was at WWE and all. So excited he's back. Very excited. And I think he's going to be doing better than ever. But there is a particular night that Bobby and I have history. And that was after WrestleMania, which is the biggest Monday Night Raw of the year. And it was after the Billionaire match. Remember that? The Battle of the Billionaires, the hair versus hair match. It was Vince McMahon with Umaga, God rest his soul, in his corner. And then Donald Trump, our president, had Bobby Lashley in his corner. And the winner, well, they got to shave the head of Vince McMahon. So that's what happened. Vince's head was bald. Next day on Monday Night Raw, he's mortified. He comes out there with a hat. Bobby comes down there. He takes the hat off, and Vince is so embarrassed. He's trying to hide all over the ring, underneath the ring skirt, underneath this, underneath that. And then he picks my skirt. You guys have got to see the video to understand the whole thing. And yeah, sure enough, you'll see my skirt is longer than normal because, you know, I always wore like mini skirts. This particular night, we're like, what are we going to do? How is this going to happen? How is he going to hide his bald head and my skirt be long enough to cover it? Well, thanks to the seamstress, Julie back there, made a long skirt. If you go back to the video, you'll see it's a long skirt, but then we kind of did a slit in the front. So it still looked like it was part of an outfit that I would normally wear. Because if I went out there with a long skirt all the way past my knees, all the way around, people would be like, wait, something's going to happen, right? It would just look weird. So just genius. She did a whole slit in the front. And yeah, so that's how we got away with it. So Vince goes under there and Bobby's like, gives me that look like, sorry, gotta do this, rips the skirt off, but there you go. Don't worry, I had a swimsuit on. I knew this was coming. Obviously, it's scripted, but I wanted to play along. This was just hilarious. It's like a Saturday night skit. And yeah, of course, I looked mortified, but I was laughing my ass off inside, guys, like totally. And every time I see that video, I'm just laughing. I'm like, wait, just another day at the office. If you guys want to see it, just go to Chasing Glory Podcast. We did put it up there because it's too funny. All right. So anyway, Bobby, amazing interview. You guys are getting ready to be completely inspired. Something that I do want to touch on just to set up the interview was I was telling you guys last week how I had a mold issue at the house. We found out after almost 3 years of living here and feeling very, very sick and having to get on all this medication. Thank God the mold is gone. The medication is gone. We're now feeling much better. The house has been airing out because they painted a lot too. And so that was causing a lot of irritants when we came back in because it'd been closed for 80 days. So a house that's closed that much and they've been painting inside, not so good. But hey, things are good now. Things are looking up. But the thing is I'm still building out the studio. And I don't know what happened, but everything that I had at my disposal temporary was not working. Skype wasn't working and FaceTime wasn't working and nothing was working. But I was so determined to get this interview. And as you guys know, I keep it real here. I tell you about the obstacles. Why? Because if we all paint like everything is perfect, we don't help each other. So I'm telling you now, this is not quality perfect as far as the sound because I ended up having to do phone to phone. I found an app and that's how I recorded the episode. And it's not quality perfect. And usually that would have bothered me in the past. But now I'm like, no. The quality is the interview. And he gave an amazing interview. So I want you guys to listen to that and just listen past the other stuff. And just know, hey, sometimes that's what happens. It's not all picture perfect. But Bobby, man, thank you. Thank you for coming on and being so real, raw, inspiring. Without further ado, here is Bobby Lashley's journey of chasing glory. Robert Franklin Lashley knows what it's like to explore new territories. A son of a United States Army drill sergeant, Bobby Lashley would consistently move between military bases, going from Kansas to Missouri to Colorado, where he excelled in amateur wrestling in all 3 locations. Following in his father's footsteps, Lashley would join the military and competed in the Army's world-class athlete program, where he would win a gold and silver medal in the International Military Sports Council. His impressive physique would lead Lashley to get noticed by the WWE, and in 2004, he reported to their developmental territory, OVW, and within just a few months, Bobby would make his main roster debut on SmackDown. For the next 2 years, he would be a force to be reckoned with and would win the United States and the ECW Heavyweight Championship. And he would also represent our current president of the United States at Wrestlemania 23. In early 2008, Bobby Lashley and the WWE would part ways. But not only would he find success in other wrestling promotions, he would venture off and have a mixed martial arts career where he would have an impressive 15-2 record, all while winning the TNA Heavyweight Championship a total of 4 times. On Monday Night Raw, after WrestleMania 34, Bobby Lashley would make his triumphant return to the WWE and would immediately get inserted into the main event scene, scoring a high-profile win against Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules. Outside the ring, Bobby is raising 3 beautiful children, as well as starting his own health-related businesses. It's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with Bobby Lashley. All right, guys, here we go. Bobby Lashley is on Chasing Glory. I'm so excited to have you on. Welcome to the show, Bobby.
Thank you, thank you.
I can't thank you enough for doing this, especially I know that, going into SummerSlam, this is pretty big and pretty busy time, and the fact that you took time out for me. But first of all, I just want to say it was just so nice to see you backstage when I was back there a few weeks ago and getting a hug from you again. You and I had some history, and it's so funny. The first thing that comes to mind about the history that you and I have had is that infamous night after the hair versus hair match between Vince and Donald Trump. Oh my God. And when they told me the storyline of the fact that Vince was going, he was hiding his bald head everywhere, and then he was going to be hiding underneath my skirt. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, and then Bobby's going to come and he's going to pull it and rip it off. Oh my God. I was like, I have done some things in the WWE. And of course I had to watch the video back again to see it recently. I'm like, oh my God, I'm laughing my butt off remembering that moment.
That was one of those things where I had to read also. That whole time was crazy.
It was crazy, right? That whole match. I mean, what did you think about the whole thing, working with Donald, working with, doing the hair versus hair? Oh, God rest his soul, working with Umaga and all of that.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought the whole thing was incredible. All the pieces of the puzzle kind of fell together. I don't know if I was the first person chosen for it, but I know that somebody pulled for me and got me into that deal. And then after I got in there, I mean, there were so many things going on. Like there was one minute where it's from Towers, next minute we're on ESPN, and Stone Cold, incredible.
Yeah, no, that it was true. I mean, you were thrown in the midst of all, and it became such a big story and headlines everywhere, right? And it's crazy now to think that, yeah, you were with the President of the United States. It's insane to think now. I remember, I saw somebody shared a video or a picture of me with me introducing him, and I was just like, this is just insane how the future happens. Right?
No, you never know, especially in the WWE. I knew that it was a big deal at the time, but never would have known that he was going to be president of the United States. And I get tweeted something about that every single day. Every single day about it. Nothing bad. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that comes through is pretty comical, so I just laugh at it.
Right. Well, we kind of have to, but I mean, it's like, hey, it is what it is, and But it was a funny time, and that's the thing is when I go, how the heck did I get involved in all of this? We've always had a good rapport together. You've always been such just a caring guy. That's the thing I've known about you through the years. It's almost very similar to Batista, the relationship I had with Batista, just really kind. And I know you guys had a relationship together, sharing matches and all that. But did you get to be with him a lot?
Yeah, I actually went and stayed at his house one time. just briefly. I don't know if we were between shows or something like that. But yeah, we had to work a lot. We did a lot of there's times we did tag matches together.
Yeah.
We actually wrestled against each other, and then between the Survivor Series, I had some time to really spend with Dave. I wouldn't say that we got super close, but there was always kind of a friendship between you and I.
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't know why he comes to mind. Like, you guys have like a similar, just a kindness about you. But something that I think I remember knowing this, but with all the other superstars and with time, and you kind of forget things. And so when I'm sitting there, doing my research for this interview, I'm like, oh my God, that's right. He was in the Army. Your dad's Army. My dad's Army.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I feel such even more connection to you, right? God, tell me about this. Like,
where were you?
Grew up.
Where were you stationed?
Oh no, I wasn't in the Army. My dad was a lieutenant colonel.
Right. But where'd you go? Travel a lot?
Yeah. So my father, he worked for the American Embassy in Spain. So I got a little luckier in that I was in Madrid, Spain, for the first 8 years of my life. So I didn't have to move around like you did.
Oh. Well,
tell me about that.
I was in Kansas. We started out in Kansas. We left and we came back to Kansas. No, I lived out in Germany for 4 years, and that was good.
Yeah.
So that was probably the highlight of everything because I was born in North Carolina, and I was too young to really remember anything or do anything. That's when I was a little baby. And then we moved to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. And I moved there for probably at least 4 years, usually 4 years. There for 4 years. And then we went out to Germany, which we thought, this is amazing. We thought we would stay there forever. Germany was a great time. Mixing with Germany, I learned a little bit of German. Stayed on the military base, but it was cool all the way across the board. And then after that, after we had our stint in Germany, we came back to Kansas, but this time we came to Fort Riley, Kansas. And then that was kind of the remainder of time for me, all the way up until college. Because my parents split up, I stayed with my mom, so we got stuck in Kansas, in Junction City, Kansas.
It's kind of a culture shock, isn't it? That is one thing same thing, like when I moved from Spain, I go to South Carolina. And nothing against South Carolina, but it's culture shock. Did it hit you like it hit me coming from Europe over, to Kansas?
Yo, absolutely. But when we were in Germany, which is crazy, we had the news. So everything on the news was bad news. So me and my sisters, we were actually scared to come back because we heard there was a lot of news about people putting pins in candy and putting different drugs in all the candies when people go trick-or-treating. There was all kinds of bad stuff that we were like, man, we don't want to go back there. It was we were really legitimately scared that we couldn't touch anything because there was like the aspirin there and there was so many things that came on across the news because we only had one channel. Since we had one channel, when the news was on, we had to watch the news. So, in the news came, it was the German news and it was the American news. And in the American news, it was telling us all about these things that were happening. People were getting killed and murders, and it was like we were scared. We wanted to stay in Germany. So, I mean, but the time there was cool. But then it was a culture shock because when we jumped to Kansas, it was like a whole different world. You have Germany, which is Germany at the time. It was it was just being free so much. The kids we would interact with the Germans. Everybody had a good time. And then we came back to Kansas. It was a little bit different. Everything settled in a little bit. There wasn't so much to do. But I was on an Army base, so since being on an Army base, we had the other Army kids hanging around with, so we had our own little small community.
Right. Oh my God, you're taking me right back. I feel like I'm living my life all over again because of the transition. I mean, I remember when I came in and I go to New York City for the first time ever. I was so excited, and then all of a sudden, that's at the time when there was. Times Square was not Times Square now. It was, drugs and alcohol and hookers everywhere, and oh my God, it was scary. And I was like, I want to go back. What was the hardest thing? Like for me in school, it was a little rough coming from Spain
being somebody that spoke a different language and all of that. Did you find it a little hard to transition when you went to school?
It was for me because I'm a shy person. I kind of keep to myself a little bit, and I'm kind of quiet. So when I came back, it was like we were always having to adjust to a new school. So and I came back, I think it was the 5th grade. So we went from Germany, where we had some German kids, and then we had the people in our own little community, and then we flew over to the United States, and then it's like, boom, you got to meet a whole new crop of kids. And being kind of a shyer kid, I kind of withdrew a little bit. I was like a little nerd that wanted to wear ties at school. So that was me. So I was just quiet most of the time.
So that made you shyer, do you think?
I mean, I think it could. I don't know if it was necessarily that. Of course, if you're around somebody for quite a while and grew up with them, then you wouldn't be shy. So I don't know if it aided to it, but I guess it exposed it a little bit more, if nothing else.
How funny. So I brought up Batista earlier, and he talks about how he was shy and it's just socially awkward, and he felt socially awkward. He always says that now if he could tell his younger self anything, it would be that it was okay. It's okay to be that way and just relax about it. And, Stone Cold talked about how shy he was growing up. So, and a lot of people have reacted to that when they're listening to these episodes. They're going, my God, I can't believe that people could be so shy growing up and then be superstars and be out there and speaking to a crowd full of people. And what helped you overcome, or do you feel like you've ever overcome your shyness?
I've overcome it for the most part. Like, when I was in school, just to even make it further of what we were talking about, when I was in school, I used to have notes sent home to my parents, and I still have some of those on my report card that, I would get straight A's. I did not get anything but straight A's all the way through. And I remember one of my teachers sent a letter, and in my report card, the only note that I would have was, Bobby needs to talk more in school. That was it was all the time. My mom she used to show me. She said, "You never wanted to talk, but now look at you." So I mean, there is a big transition. And you know what? The biggest thing for me of what I learned was, and it was so simple, but it was so impactful for me. It was I wouldn't even say it was a quote. Someone told me, it says, "You know what? The only thing that you should be nervous of is the fact of the anticipation." Because when you have to do something, you're going to have to do it regardless. But the anticipation of it is what kills us. When you sit there and say, oh, shoot. Like the first time when I debuted on SmackDown, I came through and I was not supposed to debut. There was nothing going on, and nothing was on I was just one of the OVW guys that were on the road. So they let me go on the road, do a couple house shows, and that was it. I was not supposed to be brought up. And then it goes to TV, and then I was in catering because there was no way I was doing anything. And then somebody said, hey, you have a match tonight. And immediately my heart started racing. I was like, huh? What are you talking about? Not me. I'm not supposed to do it. It was like, no way. But then when I went over there, I kind of sat back in the back, and you know what? The person that got me was Paul Heyman. As crazy as this is, he came to talk to me because he mentored me back in OVW. When I was in OVW, he was the writer there, and he was the one that talked to me, one that got to know me, and he just kind of walked over to me with that little smug little grin that he always has on his face and looked at me, and he goes, you nervous? And I was like, yeah, I'm nervous. What are you talking about? It's 17,000 people here. Of course. Yeah. And I just started wrestling. And he goes, you know what? He said, the only thing you're really nervous about is the only thing that messes you up is this whole anticipation time. He said, when they call your name, you're going to have to go out. And I know you're going to do great, and you're going to be excited, and you're going to come back, and you're like, man, why did I kill myself before? He said, if you can handle this now, the rest is easy. And I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to this guy. So at that time, what I had to take, I used this, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to let the anticipation happen. I'm going to be like, man, I can't wait. Just get me out there. If I had to jump out of a plane, you can just fly it. I'm jumping. I don't need to build that. I just want to do it. Let's go. I want to do it and it's not get it over with. experience the moment. And then another thing is the thing that I like to talk about a lot is sometimes that moment is over, and then all that anticipation you built up, it's like a little short blast in time, and then the next day you're gonna be like, damn, all that's over. And you know what I use this a lot with is my fights, my MMA fights. Because you talk about anticipation and being nervous and killing yourself. That is where you kill yourself. The gate closing, signing the contract, looking across the cage at somebody, knowing that nobody's going to break this fight up until it's done. All those different things, can really, it can tear you up. But then a lot of times I get close, and what I did is when I got into the warm-up room, when it's game time now, it's the day of, we're waiting in the back, they're about to call my name, and I would sit there and I'd say, you know what, tomorrow is going to be really in about 4 hours, it's going to be tomorrow. And all of this, from the 3 months of training and me coming in there fighting for maybe it could be as low as 2 minutes, is going to be over.
Yeah. Wow.
And if it's over, we don't get to experience all that time. Because I remember when I walked to the ring for the first time, Johnny Jeter, one of the guys from OVW, sent me. Yeah. And I was like, holy cow. I was like, look at that, man. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And in that time, I built it all up. That 15 years ago is gone.
That's crazy.
So now instead of trying to speed past that time or anything like that, man, I want to slow these times up. So now I'm not going to be scared because if I could, and one person's really good at this, and I'll tell you, as much as people may love him or hate him, is Roman Reigns. He will take his time and absorb and soak everything up before he gets to that ring. And that's what you have to do, whether you're fighting, whether you're wrestling, whether you're any kind of spotlight, you got to sit back and you got to say, man, look at this. You know how it is, walking out there in Raw when you have people just yelling, some people yelling, booing. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They're staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take every second of that and just kind of breathe it in and say, man, I am blessed. I am happy. I am on a whole nother world. I am living a dream right now.
Wow.
And then when you change your mind into that, there's no way you can be nervous. There's no way you can go into this. I want the big matches. I used to tell people after I got through with that, I was like, you know what? In a basketball game, when they're in the fourth quarter with 10 seconds left and throw the ball down there and we're behind by one, give me the ball. Give me the ball.
Wow.
In the bottom of the ninth inning with the bases loaded and we're behind by, I don't care, 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. Put me on the plate. Let me to either fail or succeed for all of us. I want it because I'm gonna soak all that in, and I'm gonna use all of that, and I'm gonna knock that ball completely out of the park. I'm gonna make that ball. I'm gonna shoot from half court and swish. I'm gonna go out there and it's game time. I'm ready. I'm ready.
That is amazing to me. That when I said another one, when I said Paul, when you said Paul Heyman, he's affected so many people's lives. He's helped so many people. It's unreal. And it's crazy that one thing he told you, now, my God, I'm going to use it. But it's funny that I remember having that without even knowing what you just said. I remember I had been singing for the Jets game, and I sang year after year. It's so awesome that they've invited me back yearly. And I remember that at the very beginning, when I would sing, it would just be such a blur to me. And I remember one year going, no, this one, you're going to look around. You're going to pause. You're going to soak it in. Every line of that song, when you're walking out there, everything. And, man, has that changed everything now that when I go out there. You're right. It changes the entire experience.
Yeah. Instead of singing to a crowd, you're singing to each and every individual person and loving every part. I did too. I would black out. I was so into what you were saying because when I went out to fight, man, the crowd's all there, but I did not see a single person when I first started. I was so, holy shit. And then when I get down and I'm sitting there like, maybe ground and pounding, it's like I'm so racing. I'm racing because I want to get out of there. And then the good fighters and the good performers are the ones that say, you know what, I don't want any of this to end. So I'm going to take my time and breathe all this in, because then the crowd understands what you're doing and they feel it. You're singing, they're like, oh man, she looks right at me. She's singing to me. You know, when you're out there in the ring and you look around and you see some people, because I do it all the time. I'll find individual people and I'll point at them and like high up in the rafters. They could be in the middle or in the front. I'll point straight at them. They know I'm pointing at them. I'm not pointing at the crowd. I'm pointing at that particular person. And I'm looking at them and saying, hey, look, I appreciate you throwing your fingers up in the air, because that's a sign of you paying respects to me, and that's you're cheering for me. I appreciate that. And I'll look to somebody else and tell them also. Because that's one thing with this business. You know how it is in the entertainment business. I'm appreciative of everybody that comes out, everybody that says anything positive, anybody that cheers for me, anybody that has my back. I'm 100% appreciative to them at all points of time. I'm a positive person. It makes people sick sometimes, but that's just how I am.
I love that. I love that. Look, Titus O'Neil's another one. He's been on here. He's a very positive person, very inspiring, and people are really loving that, because we need that in the world. We need that in the world, because there's enough negativity to go around, let me tell you. So
yes,
oh my God, I'm so in love with this conversation already because of what you're giving, and I feel your energy even through the phone like this. I feel it. Amen, brother. To think that kid that was so shy has turned into this. Is there a time that you were pissed at yourself in a way where you're going, God, I know I have the fire in me. Why am I so shy? Why am I so scared? How did you, before Paul Heyman, before all of this, how were you able to even audition for the WWE? Somebody that's, gone through that's shy or something. How did you break through? What helped you?
Well, because the one thing that I can do, and I have a tremendous in, and I don't get shy at all, is if you do something where I have to physically do it. If it's an athletic competition, if it's something where I have to display physical fitness, if it's just me performing, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm not. The things that were challenging for me was I don't want to say the acting. It was more of the just let's talk about it. I was more a be about it person. I don't want to talk about it. I grew up in a military background where it's shut up and train. When I was at the Olympic Training Center, it was shut up and train. Now afterwards, it was kind of go out there and do a speech. I don't know. But I mean, in a one-on-one setting, I'll talk with anyone, and I'm excited about talking with anyone. But it was always that crowd stand up on a podium and deliver a message thing, and I was like, that's just it's not me. It's not something that I feel comfortable with. It's not something that I like doing. So I think that was a part of the shyness in me. And then just being in crowds. Crowds is something that kind of I got a little social anxiety. I like to be in big crowds where everybody's just on each other. I'm not about that either.
Yeah. So how did you get through as far as being able to conquer the fear of speaking in front of crowds?
I had to. That's the only way. And, it was one of those deals where, even with the WWE, it's something that I don't want to say, well, it's work. It's always work. Because just me talking personally, I love to do it. I'll talk with anyone. I'll do any kind of. But when it's having to go and do those things, I just didn't have an opportunity. It's all right, you're doing it, and there you go. You know how it is. When you go to Raw, it's here's what you got. Go out there. You don't get that opportunity of saying, well, hold on a second. Let's do this. No.
Right.
No, that's what you're going to do. And in school, it's when you have to do a presentation in school, it's well, here's our big presentation of the year. It's at the end of the year, and you have to do X, Y, Z. You don't have that opportunity of saying, no, I'm going to skip this one. They say, okay, you skip this one, then you don't pass. So you have to do it. So a lot of those times when and like we talked about before, those times when you have to do it, it's like, all right, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get it over with, and then you go at home and you do it, and you do that speech, and you're like, it was the best, and you're pausing, and you're feeling it, but then when you get in front of the class, it's like, and you just like speed through it, and that's what I felt like I did. And those times were the times where I was like, you know what, I sat and practiced this thing, I had it down, I remember everything, I should have, but then you're like, that nervous energy just kind of like threw a monkey wrench in all of your plans, and you didn't perform like you would have wanted.
Well, it's almost like the cycle continues, right, of always feeling like, okay, there's always something to improve, always something to improve. And the thing is that there are things that naturally come to you, like you just said, your athletic background, your ability, your body. Dolph Ziggler talked about how the two of you auditioned together, and he goes, "Poor me, I did not have the physique." And Bobby Lashley. He said, "Yep, they picked him, and if I were me, if I were them, I would have picked him too." Oh my God,
man. That time was cool because I actually saw you post something about that, and that time was cool, man. Man, we were both in a really interesting place in our life, I think it was, and we went there. I actually became really good friends with him because every night after trials we would go down and eat and have this like little local bar. We just had a drink and chatted, and it was cool getting to know him. And he became a friend in just those 4 days that we hung out with each other. And then he called me up when I went home, and he was like, "Hey man, did you get any news?" And I was like, "Yeah, they called me the day after we left and offered me a contract." He was like,
well, congratulations, but damn it.
But I mean, the passion that he had with wrestling, I was like, there's no way he's not going to make it. I mean, he'll find a way. If he got up here now, and then he's going to find a way to get back up here and give them whatever they want later, I'm sure.
Man, I would love to see, I don't know, a match between the two of you. I think it could be interesting.
It is. It's an interesting dynamic because we're I don't want to say we're opposites, but we have like two different like genres, crowd difference. But he's the type of person that he really can get along with anyone, and I'm the type of person that I can get along with anyone. He's also, and I think part of it was we both wrestled, and I remember when I wrestled in college, we would travel across the world in like these little minivans across the U.S. in minivans, 12-hour rides, 15-hour rides sometimes, and on those minivans or on those little 18-passenger vans. We had different people. Like my roommate was a Grateful Dead fan, and then the guys that was in the apartment right next to us, they loved country music. I was listening to Tupac, and then we had another guy listening to this. So we make those long trips, and we're playing music on the radio. Like we have to cycle through everything. So I was able to, and we were all able to just we get along with everyone. Everyone's on the team. There's all kinds of different places. So that's how he and I are right now. Because Nick was Dolph, he was just on Wildin' Out. So, and when I saw him post something about Wildin' Out, I was like, oh man, that was like, I love that show. I love that show. I was like, man, how were you on it? It was funny because that's putting him into my world a little bit. And he was like, it was cool. He was like, it was one of the coolest shows he's been on. So
wow.
I think it would be cool for us to get together and do something at some point.
I think it would be awesome to even bring the footage out of you guys auditioning. I would hope that they even have that. And you could do a whole storyline about how you guys, from the beginning, you auditioned together, and then he could do a whole thing where, you knocked him out, and you didn't make, you got in, and you were the reason he didn't get in. And, I mean, there's history there.
Yeah,
look at me writing right now.
I know. That would definitely make me a heel, which I'm dying to be, and it would make him a baby face because people really like him. Also, yeah, man. When I was in TNA, the other show, Impact, I was a heel. And I really love being a heel.
I wanted to talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, when they say heel, I say, what's the definition of a heel? And that was how my character kind of like came about, because I was like, I'm not necessarily a heel. It's that I've been in the wrestling business for a a long time, and I'm not one of those guys that go online and feed stuff to the dirt sheet to get myself over or try to bury the boys or anything like that. I've never been. I'm one of those guys that if I'm there, and then when I'm not there, I'm at home with my kids. I'm never one of. I've never had anything negative to say about anyone at any point in time. So when I went over to that heel stance, all I did with the heel thing was like, you know what? I've always been held down in this business because I've always tried to be the good guy, the nice guy. No more nice guy. All I'm trying to do is win titles. I have kids to feed, and I have bills to pay. And we all know that the person that's on top gets the most money, gets taken care of the best, and all those different things. So with that being said, I'm doing whatever I have to do to win titles. And that's how my heel thing went. I didn't cheat. I was just rougher, and I didn't care about trying to please anybody. All I was trying to do is collect a check, and that was my heel character.
So is that what you're craving again?
Yeah, because I think in the wrestling business across the board, there's a lot of people that can benefit off me being a heel.
Yeah,
and I don't necessarily need to be it now, but it's one of those things where. I mean, I'd love to work a program with like the Finn Balor's, Braun, and then when I worked with Roman, I could turn Roman. I mean, they already love Roman, but I can make him all the way babyface. Seth Rollins. I mean, we have a lot of baby faces on the roster across the board. And I think as a heel, I could work a lot of them really well, and. It would be a fun goal. I'm the type of person that you would want to cheer. You'd want to cheer for the babyface, but at the same time, I'm a heel that they know that at any point in time, I can win. I could beat anyone.
Right.
Any one of them. Yep. And that's the hardest thing. Because like right now, as a babyface, I don't think there's too many people, if any, on the roster that can just straight up beat me in the eyes of the public.
I think you're right about that. And how did you feel, first of all, working with Roman, and you guys recently worked together. You had the opportunity to go to SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar. So how does that feel for you? Because I know you came back with fire. Like that's what I see. This time around, I see like such a fire in you. I want to be the top guy. Period.
Working with Roman is the top guy. He is the top guy. As much as people want to either cheer him or boo him, it doesn't really matter. He's that guy. So one is of course you want to get in the ring with those guys because it's always a learning process. I learn different people learn me. And the fact that he put himself on top and he was on top for so long, he has something that really works for him. And he learned that from someone. I mean, I know that he talked a lot about working with Cena and actually learning from Cena, learning from Undertaker. And knowledge is passed on in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
And you always can learn, and you always can learn something new. And if you have an opportunity to work with the top guy, of course you want to learn something new. And you know what? I wrestled him, and I wrestled a lot of different people. Roman is good. I'm gonna put my stamp on it because it's not be he sucks or this that. No, he's really good in the ring. He's great in the ring. So when we had that match, I mean it to me brought out what I like because when we had a brawl before it. That brawl was real, It had that real feel. Like he played football. He's been in the trenches where he had to battle and he had to, I mean, on that football field, you got to get down. So when we stood face to face and eye to eye, and then we looked at each other, and I see this with some people, and I see it, and I don't see it with others. When I stand you and I look you in the eye, I can tell I can kind of read you. And I was like, oh he's a gamer. Yeah. You know what? I could see it in his eye. And some people I go in there and they're so bent on like, oh, let's have a cool match that when that chance is standing in front of them, like it's going down like that hard stare where you're looking in front of them and trying to test their manhood. They're not there. All they're thinking of is, oh, I can think of cool things to do here or there. And then there's people that stand in front of you that's saying, oh, look, this is real. Okay, if this is real, we can get down. And there's some people like that. Like I sit in front of some guys like that, and when I see that, and I see that fire, that they're down,
Yeah.
We can go. And I saw that with Roman. We had a couple stare downs in the ring, just a little promo section.
Yep.
I looked at him and was like, okay, I see. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. And that, to me, because Al feels that, and they know that. So there's a lot of good matches on there. They're like, I want to see this match because it's going to be a good match, and this could be a good match. But then they look at some matches, and they're like, oh, damn, these guys have to go down.
Right.
These guys, it's about to go down, and that's a whole different thing. And another thing is like, the crowd was so bent on trying to like pass beach balls and different things like that when Roman's match to try to disrespect him or try to make him look bad. I was like, we're not getting none of that. We're not getting none of that. No, we got none of that. I was like, they're going to want to boo, they're going to want to do this, they're going to want to do that, but they are not doing it for our match, not the first time or the second time. Period.
Yeah. You've kind of been involved in this whole thing with, like I said, with Roman and with Brock and all of that. Like, how do you feel about Brock being the Universal Champion, but yet he's not there all that much?
Okay. Look, that's what I feel about it. Any one of us would have signed and took the contract that Brock has, but not every one of us can get the contract that Brock has. So it all goes back to that whole quote, you can't hate the player, hate the game. Because I tell you what, if I can go to WWE and talk to Vince and say, hey, Vince, I want to go and keep this title for, let me do about 2 years. I'll come every once in a while. Just give me a call when you need me. House shows? Nah, I'm not going to do any house shows. But if you want me, just call me. And if I'm available, I'll come. And on top of that, give me $100 million a year, Vince. Okay? All right, cool. Send the contract. If I can get that, I'll get it. And I don't care what anybody has to say. They can be jealous of me, but if you can get that, you get that. So I can't say anything about what Brock has. I mean, you can't hate the player, hate the game, because he's in a great position that every one of us would wish we had. I have kids. I wish I could be home with my kids all the time. But instead, I have to hit the road. Like, I'm in the road at 1:30 a.m. Tomorrow morning. And so, it is what it is.
I agree. I agree with you, and I know he's doing it because he's got kids too. And he said, I'm not going to come back on a full schedule because of them. And so for him, he's made it work for him as far as balance. And you're right. Yes. It's not his fault at all. Do you wish though that you were in that match?
Absolutely, I wish I was in that match. Because it is what it is. When I first came into the wrestling business, I got compared to Brock. Day one. And I really didn't even know Brock that much. And actually, here's the truth is, I've only crossed paths with Brock 2 times. I don't think we've said more than 2 words to each other. Hey, how you doing? That was one time, and the first time that was in Saudi Arabia. When we just did that Saudi tour. Brock came in. Yeah. I never even saw Brock. We've never been in the same area at the same time. So I shook his hand, and then he was going out to the ring, and that was it. Didn't see him after that. And then the second time was just the other day on Raw, and it was literally he was in his locker room, and I was I was right by Gorilla, and he just walks right past me, kind of nods, hey, what's up? And on the way out, that was it. So me and Brock have never even been around each other. I don't think anybody has a picture where the 2 of us are in that picture or anything.
That's crazy. I don't know why I thought you guys had even faced each other, but you're right. That's amazing. All these years.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing. So that's why this whole thing was Brock, and I was going against Roman. I was like, man, this is what everybody I tell you what, I could post a picture on Instagram of myself jump roping, and I guarantee you I'll have at least a handful of comments that say, man, you and Brock should have been, you should have been, it's nonstop. I can post a picture of myself eating cereal. I can post a picture of my son, my daughter. I can post a picture of anyone, and I will get those comments nonstop. So it's something that has been written, and so many people have wanted it for so long that, I mean, if he steps away because he's going to step away and do his fight and everything like that, I hope he comes back. I hope I'm still healthy at the time. I hope I'm still going strong at the time where at some point in time, then he and I can, have the match. Have the match that so many people want.
And that's crazy because since you say you haven't talked to him that much, you guys haven't even talked about that. Like, you haven't told him that you want that match, right? Like, to his face?
Well, I mean, Paul Heyman is a friend of mine. So I know Paul, and I talk to Paul every once in a while. And Paul, Paul Brock's Brock. Brock's his own guy. Brock kind of does what Brock wants to do. So whether he wants to have the fight or not, or the match or not, I don't know. If he doesn't, so be it. If he does, I'm down.
Man, okay. So I hope that we get to see that, and I'm sure that you want to continue going against Roman because you said it was a really good experience, and I'm hoping that that's where it all, it ends up going again. But for now, for SummerSlam, what are we doing?
I will be in catering. I will be in catering at some point in time. And then after that, I don't know. I really don't know. I've been I'm kind of back and forth with Elias the last couple of weeks, but kind of beating him up a little bit. So I don't know if there's going to be something that manifests with that, or if I want to be involved in something else. I really don't know. Okay. I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes you know, sometimes you don't. Right now, I wasn't privy to know anything on this situation.
So how does it feel for you from the last time you were in the WWE? You left in 2008. By the way, did you ever talk about why you left?
Not really.
You want to say?
I mean, I don't think it's really necessary.
All right, no worries at all. What the difference do you feel coming back?
I think with the wrestling business always changes, and I like where it is now because we're really big on the entertainment aspect and the show and this that. Because I think before it was more about the fight. Mm-hmm. Some of the guys that were on the roster were really into the fight. You know, that game mode. But with wrestling, you got to have a little bit of everything. You got to mix it up. It's a variety show. There are going to be some that have fights where you're going to be like, oh, man, I want to see that fight. And then some's like, I don't even care who wins. I just want to see a good match. It just feels like before it was more of, it was more tight. Now it seems more loose. Like, guys are like, you know, everybody's kind of like buddies. Everybody kind of hangs out or kind of does their, I mean, not hangs out, but does their own thing. But when we come together, everybody's cool. I mean, it's a very low tension area right now.
Yeah.
I think before it wasn't so much. There wasn't a lot of. I don't say there's a lot of tension before, but there was more eyes on everything.
Yeah, it was different. I know because I've definitely felt it. I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
Change throughout the years.
Trying to explain it's hard to explain.
It is hard to explain if you're not there. But yeah, it has definitely loosened up. Are you enjoying this time around better than already?
I am. Well, yes. I don't want to say it's better. I just want to say I am enjoying it a lot. But man, like for me, I feel like to get granted what I had granted is like I'm super appreciative more than anything else. So I come to work every day and I'm happy. And I said this several times because one of the guys was like, oh, he was complaining about something. And I sat next to him and I was like, man, do you understand your worst days are better than most people's best days? Mm-hmm. Because you have the opportunity to go out here and perform in WWE in front of like thousands of millions of people on different areas, and they can see your face, your mug. If you think your mug is that important to put on TV, then you got a lot of confidence in yourself. But you are. And you're out there, and you gotta take that and say, man, I appreciate it. I talked with another guy, Drew McIntyre, and he said the same thing. Yeah, because he came in too, and then we both left. We left. I was gone for 10 years. He was gone for quite a while also, and he comes back to me and he was like, man, you know, if some of these people would like appreciate what they have. If they got it taken from them, then they would appreciate what they have more now. Because I am gone. There were times in there that I made calls and I was like, hey, you know, Bobby Lashley, you guys got any room? You know, I tried to get back in there. You know, before you were like, damn it. You know, it was kind of one of those things because as stressful as it can. Yeah. I mean, never really wanted to leave, but things happen, whatever. Yeah. But you know, wrestling is like the circus. It's like the greatest thing in the world. But like, look at this. I was gone for 10 years, and I tell you, a lot of people. I don't think anybody in any professional sport could say, you know, I was in there at the highest point in the game. I left for 10 years, and I came back even higher. Like I feel like I'm in better shape. I of course know wrestling way better. and I'm a better person. But 10 years can make you, like a lot of the people that I was with right now, I mean, I look at them online and stuff like that, and they're not the same person anymore. They're a shell of the person they were before. You know, with different vices, you know, it brings them down. They grow older, they look older, they feel older, they don't want to do this. I mean, they don't look like they did before.
Right.
For me, I'm in great shape. I am in great shape. I feel like I'm even better shape than. Of course, there's times where like, oh man, the joints hurt and everything like that, but it always hurts. It's wrestling. We beat each other up. But for the most part, I feel like my body is primed to go. Like this morning, I set out and I was like, I kind of want to take it easy today, so pulled up a jump rope, and I ended up jump roping for an hour, just in the morning. Just jumping. Nothing big, not hitting a hard bench press or anything like that. Just jumping rope. Yeah. Just being an athlete.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
All right, so by now hearing how Bobby Lashley trains and what an athlete he is, you can see why he looks the way he looks. He does look better than ever, and you guys can hear it. I mean, it's all about training, but it's all about what you feed your body as well, which is why I've been a big, big advocate on ButcherBox. Now, let me tell you why ButcherBox is different. I have told you that they have grass-fed meats, and there's a lot of companies that have grass-fed meats, but they don't have grass-finished meats. There is a difference because what's going on now is that people will say that it's grass-fed, and they'll feed them the grass, but then later on, before the finishing process, they go ahead and feed them grains to fatten them up. So now you got grass and you got grains, and that's not good. So this company has done it differently because they are doing grass-fed and then grass-finished, which means there is absolutely no grains at all that enter the meat. All right, so that's important for you guys. And that's why I always say, too, no hormones, no antibiotics. All of that is very important. It does build good, lean muscles. It helps because it also helps in how you feel when you're eating this food. I'm telling you, it's incredible. I just had pork, by the way. When I say pork, I mean like it was a steak-sized pork. It was amazing. They have steaks. They have organic chicken. Organic, okay? So it's organic. It means that the chickens are very well taken care of, and they don't have, again, all these pumped, gross stuff into their body. I can't say it any simpler than that. It is just the way that meat is supposed to be eaten. So right now, remember, my Chasing Glory listeners out there, you're going to get a special. And they've upped the ante because you're not just going to get $10 off. You're now going to get $20 off your order. $20 off your order, you're going to get free shipping. And then you're also going to get a $30 value of free bacon. So go to butcherbox.com/glory. butcherbox.com/glory. Read up all about it. Don't just take my word. You'll understand when you see their website. It's really farm to table. And guys, what's great about this, it's affordable. It's like $6 a meal. Amazing food. I'm telling you, it tastes different because it's not pumped with all these grains and hormones and antibiotics, and I can't stress it enough. So go to butcherbox.com/GLORY, butcherbox.com/glory. Send me your pictures of what you cook with this amazing food.
Now, more Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
I love it. No, you look great. But I also sense a difference in you as far as, and I'm sure that this is just part of the whole growing up, right? Where you were before, and wisdom, and the grind, and the experiences, and I mean, what do you think is the biggest thing that you've grown up about since you left?
I go to sleep right after the shows.
Oh, explain that. What do you mean?
Well, before, in different cities and stuff like that, you're traveling. I was young. You would after the show, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bar, have a drink, talk to the ladies or whatever the case is. Now I get back to the shows, I'm like, man, I want to go hit this bed. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. I'm gonna do some cardio. I'm gonna lift it, and that's a different mind frame. Like, I don't spend money on stupid things. I have kids, and my kids are the most important thing to me in this entire world. So I don't spend money on a whole bunch of stupid stuff. I could probably write off everything that I spend on myself because it's workout clothes, it's running shoes, and then clothes for work. Outside of that, it's for my kids. I don't waste money on a whole bunch of nonsense. I love to travel, so I will splurge when it goes to traveling. And then investments. I want to put myself in a position where if this train of being in WWE crashes or where I'm out, I'm going to be in a good position. I've invested almost everything that I have into something that is going to earn some residual income over time. That if I leave here, I don't have to go and start hustling in the indies or anything like that to make ends meet. I can do that if I want to do it, but I'm in a good place where my kids are taken care of and I'm taken care of for a long time.
I've seen that with, a long time ago. It's like I had heard that you opened up a smoothie shop and all of that, and there were literally some people we were talking and we're like, wow, okay, what is that all about? But now it's like that's the thing to do, and to open up online nutrition stores. I feel like you were ahead of the curve.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people, they can force you. The fans can force it out of you. Because I get a lot of questions. I get questions on a daily basis. Hey, Bobby, what do you lift, and how do you lift, and what can I do to get my arms bigger? What can I do to get stronger, stuff like that? And I can't answer every single one of these questions, and I can't answer the question if I've never met you or never really done anything with you. So I said at that time the easiest way was, let's go ahead and make sure that if they call into my supplement store and they need something, I can at least direct them to the right supplements to help them out. And now a lot of people are doing it, and I'm kind of. If I want to put my label on something, a supplement would be easy. It's like, you want to look like me? Take this. So that was kind of the easy thing. But now what I want to do is I want to change it around a little bit. I want to start becoming personal. I can't take on a bunch of people, but I've got a real good handle on how to sculpt the body and how to maximize the athletic potential of someone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start doing some online coaching with that also. Not a lot of people, but I want to do a handful of people and just kind of help them get right.
Man, the before and after pictures are going to be crazy.
Yes, they will. And I'm going to do it so that I physically go down there and train with them. I'm not going to just leave them on their own and expect that they're telling me the right things, like, yeah, I worked out today, and yeah, I ate right. No, I'm going to be there to kind of check up on you and monitor you. So,
wow,
I'm going to have some fun with that.
That's great. I love that. I could learn a thing or two for sure. I want to look like Bobby. Just kidding. That's a little weird.
Yeah, that might be a little bit too much.
Yeah. MMA. Why was it so important for you to go into MMA?
YOLO. You only live once.
Oh, you only live once. Okay. Yeah.
There's so many people out there that say, man, watching UFC, man, I would do that. No, you won't. Because that's not how it is, and it's not that easy. But when I was getting into WWE, coming back, I was actually in a bank robbery, and it ended my amateur wrestling career.
Oh, wow.
So when I was at the Olympic Training Center, right before I met Dolph, right before I came in. So I never really had my chance to continue on and try to make the team or anything like that, because it was cut short because I got my knee busted up when I took a dive after getting shot at this dang bank. And then a little bit after that, I ended up getting into the WWE. So the competition was there, and I still wanted that competitive edge. And when I was on the process of moving out of the WWE, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I don't really want to go to the indies so much and get hustled by promoters. So I said, you know what, I'm still in good shape. still my wrestling background. I love that competition. So why don't I, and this is exactly what I told myself. I said, I'm going to go and do one fight. Just one. Because I just want to say that I did it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
19 fights later.
Wow.
Real going after it. But you know, MMA for me was, it was something that I needed to challenge myself. I needed to challenge myself at all points in time. And when I came out of the WWE, that was such a high that to challenge myself at something so low wouldn't work for me. So I needed something that was really going to like challenge me, put me in an uncomfortable situation. And fighting definitely puts you in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
You know, when you have to go through and you never boxed before, and you have to go to a boxing coach, and he's sitting there teaching you how to like move your feet. You know, it kind of humbles you and makes you hungry to learn. And then after you learn, then you can actually test your learning on a main stage. So it was a lot of different things for me.
Wow. Well, what's the biggest takeaway from all of that?
The biggest takeaway is entertainment. Everything is entertainment.
Yeah.
Like fighting, when I wrestle, amateur wrestle, there's no money. They didn't make any money. Busted your butt, lost tremendous amounts of weight, killed yourself, and you got nothing out of it. When I came back, I was like, I can't do that. But when I went to fighting, it was all about that. You know, everybody thinks it's about the fight. And I was like, oh, this would be a fight, this would be a fight. And we want to see these two guys like the little rock'em sock'em robots. You could just put them together. No, it's the promoter trying to make money off of presenting a show. So it's entertainment. And that's what I got through it. And that's what a lot of the fighters don't understand right now. Because they're bitching and complaining because they can't make ends meet. But then you have some fighters that are like, I'm rich. Because those fighters understand that it is entertainment, and the masses think it's a fight.
That's a huge takeaway, and I can see that. Like even now, when you come back, I feel that the whole MMA experience has definitely helped you in coming back. It's definitely even helped in people's perception of you. Do you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'll address this really quick because there was one time I read an article and somebody had said something about me. It was one of the older wrestlers, not older wrestlers, but somebody that wrestled before in my time. And he said something about like he wasn't like sold on my character or something like that. And to me, you know, I didn't even want to say anything about it. I didn't want to, like, have any rebuttal or anything like that. The only thing I look at is that's the beauty of wrestling. And the beauty of wrestling is that there is so many different kinds of characters. There's people that I can relate to. There's people that you can relate to. I may not be able to relate to some of the people that you love. I'm like, man, I just can't relate to that person. And that's okay. I don't care. This person could be the greatest wrestler, technical wrestler in the world, and I just can't relate to him.
Yeah.
I can't. And then same way with me. So you can look at another person, you're like, man, that guy can't even wrestle for nothing, but I like him. and that's the thing about wrestling, and that's why I don't even go into some of those comments like that, because what I look at is, you know what, I have a fan base, I have a large fan base, and there's a lot of people that like me, and there's a lot of people that support me, and there's a lot of people that can relate to me. So I can't even begin to entertain another wrestler's perception of me if they don't understand what my fans look for in me.
Yeah.
I'm different. That's why I love wrestling, because there's so many different people. Like, I love everybody from Hornswoggle to the Great Khali to Seth Rollins to the Bludgeon Brothers. I love everything about wrestling because of that. You know, everybody can find somebody that they're like, man, I relate to Mike Ellsworth. Or I relate to this person. You're going to relate to someone, and that's what wrestling is about. It's not saying, I'm better than you and you're better than me, because that's an arrogant, ignorant attitude. It is, everybody has a voice. Everybody has the person that they like, and that's what wrestling is all about. And I try to make the people that like me more.
Mm-hmm.
and if I could pick up some other fans, and I do, I think right now, as I travel around, people are getting to see me in person, and people, and a lot of times I go and meet people before the shows and after the shows, so they're getting to see who Bobby Lashley is. And I think that, with that being said, it could help me, it could hurt me. We don't know.
No, I think
but there's
it
going
can
to be
help you,
something.
absolutely. It's stuff like even this, doing this interview, getting people to really, you know, hear you outside of just seeing you in the ring and getting to hear your story. You know, it makes them go, oh, wow, I didn't know this about him. I could totally relate. I can connect. I can learn from him, or I could, you know, all of these things. This all helps.
Hope it does.
Yeah. I want to ask you, the future of Bobby Lashley, man, where do you want this to go?
You know, I think I'm going to use entertainment. We want to be a household name. I want to be a household name. I want somebody. I want to be a future Hall of Famer in wrestling. I want to pay my dues. I want to travel around the world. I want to impact people. I want to have titles. I want to set records that haven't been broken before. With the Universal title and myself, and there's a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, I want to look at, and I want to have like the respect from some of the people that I wrestled with, and say, you know what, I really enjoyed wrestling with Bobby, and I want to see this. I want to have the fans like come and say, you know what, that was awesome what he did. He left, came back 10 years later, and still was on the top of his game, still set records, and was able to give back afterwards.
That's amazing, and I know that you're well on your way, Bobby, well on your way. I always ask this question. Yeah, no, and we see it. That's the thing, is your work ethic is amazing. But you have a great attitude through it, and that's the key, is the attitude is everything. Your chase for glory, has it looked like you thought it was going to look?
No.
Yeah. What did you think?
Well, when I was little, that's when it started. I used to be like this workaholic. Like I would just be running. Like when I went to basic training for the Army, I set the record. I set the record on the PT test. Like I ran like a 10:32 mile, did 200 push-ups and 200 sit-ups in the 2 minutes allotted. So I was a machine. I was always a machine. So I always knew there was something that I was going to do greater. When I was in Bank-Robbery, I was laying on my face after getting shot at, and these guys were robbing the. And there was a buzzing in my ear, and I can remember the same thing going over and over again. And it said, "It's not supposed to end like this. It's not supposed to end like this." And that's the only thing that I could hear. That's the only thing that was going through my mind was it's not supposed to end like this. Because I just realized that I was putting in so much effort into something, and I didn't know what it was. So as far as you saying, did I know this was going to be my chasing glory? I didn't know. I just knew it was supposed to be something bigger. I was not average. I was on a different way of thinking than a lot of people. When I was winning nationals, I won nationals 3 times in college, and not one of those times did I go into that tournament thinking that I was going to take anything but first place. Anytime. I was going into matches saying, not an arrogant thing. I was so confident. I put in so much work. I poured my heart and soul into this. There's no way this guy's going to be able to beat me. And then as I saw things happen, and I was going through, I was like, man, there is something greater for me here. I don't know what it is, but something greater. And whether in wrestling, it started with wrestling. Back when I was in the 7th grade, it started with wrestling, and something greater. It's the greatest, wrestling at its greatest. So I guess I knew this would be my path. I just didn't have it written down.
Wow. Yeah. What set you up to be so fiery in sports? Where did you get all of that from? Did your father influence that?
I think a lot of that is just because I coach kids now. I think it's you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And I had it. Like, me and my friends, we were so competitive at everything that we did. We would play marbles all the time. We were super competitive at that. And then afterwards, we played kickball, and then we had a football game. Like, every day when I woke up as a kid, I had something to go and compete at. And, I mean, it was serious competition. Like, it wasn't like, oh, yeah, you guys win, we all have a good time, we shake hands. Nah, it was heated wars all the time. All the time. And that was the mentality that I had make everything a contest. Everything was a contest for me. And if I didn't have anybody to compete with, I would compete with myself and try to beat my own records and my own status. I mean, so it was always a competition for me.
But does that get a little bit, sometimes a little tiring, too, because it's always a competition?
Yes. Trying to answer the question, yes. Because like sometimes I don't take the time to let myself completely recover and to kind of like relax.
Mhm.
It's like it's hard for me. Like even like last night, I was running around with my kids. I had school shopping. My kids just started school back, so I had school shopping. I had a whole bunch of things to go and get done. And then finally, at like 9:30, kids are in bed. You know, lunches are made for the next day, and I'm exhausted because we ran around. But you know what? I didn't get my lift in. So I was like,
oh my God, your lift! So you literally went lifting after all of that?
So I went to the gym at 10 o'clock and got a lift in. And when I went to the gym, I said, well, you know, it's kind of late. I'm a little tired, so I'm not going to go that hard. Nope. I had one of the hardest leg workouts than I ever did last night because I got back in there. And I was like, you know what? After this, I can go to sleep. So, yeah, I don't turn off. But, you know what? One of my biggest mentors told me this. He said, it's better for somebody to have to tell you to slow down than to speed up.
That's true. I totally agree with that. But I have learned myself through the years, you got to have balance or you're going to burn out.
Sure, absolutely. I rest hard. That's why I like the vacation. When I go on vacation, that's when I really put some money into it. I'll say it's the nicest place. I'll make sure there's massages. I make sure I kick my feet up, and I make sure that I relax and recover at those times. So I do that, and I do a lot of mental health stuff. Like I like meditating, yoga, and stuff like that. So I do take care of myself at the same time. But I know that there's things that need to be done, and I always make sure to get the things done that I know have to get done.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you have been a true inspiration. I can't thank you enough for sharing your story. What a journey, man. What a journey. What I love is that I feel it in you. Like I said, I sense it in you that this is just the beginning. In a way, that was just one chapter, and now you got another whole book to write.
Yes, I do.
So excited to see where, you now go with the second round here at WWE and on. So thanks and good luck to you at SummerSlam. Whatever that ends up being, right? We'll find out hopefully on Monday Night Raw.
Hopefully there'll be a title involved.
Yes, I hope so too. Where do we find you on social media?
My Twitter is Fight Bobby, and my Instagram is Bobby Lashley.
There you go. Simple as that. All right, so I know your fans are going to love to keep connecting with you, and I will definitely be backstage at SummerSlam, so I will see you there. I'm going to go support you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so thanks, Bobby.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
And there you have it. I told you guys you were in for a treat. Bobby, he had a past of being shy, but listen to him talk now. I think this guy can totally be a motivational speaker. I mean, there were so many moments in that interview that I felt like, dig, drop the mic, or amen, brother. Well, you heard me actually say that, right? I was feeling so inspired in that interview. This guy is a workhorse, but, he loves what he's doing. He's teaching us to love what you're doing, appreciate what you're doing, stop complaining, work hard, train hard, and love, like he loves his kids. He spends time with his kids. He's incredible and gets along really well with everybody back there and is a team player. That's the biggest thing that I've always known Bobby. Team player, always had the biggest hugs for me and just the biggest smile. I love this guy. I can't wait to see what all he continues to do in the WWE. Bobby, thank you, and good luck at SummerSlam. I really like the whole angle with him and Elias because I love Elias too. I think he's definitely on a roll. So let's see what happens. Maybe it all sets up tonight on Monday Night Raw. All right, thanks to ButcherBox. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Guys, remember, it's just butcherbox.com/glory for your free bacon for $30 value and also free shipping. You're going to love the food. Absolutely love the food. And it's like $6 a meal. So it's totally affordable and good for you. And make sure that you guys rate the show real quick while you guys are listening. No matter where you're listening, all you have to do is just rate the show. You got the 5 stars. That's what we got right now. Let's continue that. My little CG squad out there. I need you guys. Rate the show, review the show, subscribe to the show. All of those things help in the rankings. That's how they rate the shows in the rankings. So the higher up we can get, the more notice we get, the more people hear these inspirational stories. And yeah, I want to continue doing this. So please, for sure, help us out here. I think that's it, guys. I'm so excited for SummerSlam. I'm actually going to be heading to New York, as you guys heard. I'm going to be backstage, and I want to just give everybody a hug there for sure. And all the competitors, they are just so incredible. These are the best athletes in the world. So until then, much peace, love, and passion. And remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.